Good afternoon, beautiful people of planet Earth and all other sentient beings across the omniverse. And I send you greetings from sacred space at Titania's realm. It's 2:29 p.m. on the 24th of July, 2025. Brisbane time. I was going to say Earth time, but time varies across this planet, so Brisbane time. And I've been out in the garden with the birdies, but I thought I'll come in and read more stories to you. I was going to read it outside, but I don't know, something said do it from inside my studio here at my bench. Rati came to clean, and while she was cleaning I went out and made a special wax with candle wax and turpentine for my jeweler's bench, and it looks quite nice, but I still think I need to sand it back properly so it's just one uniform colour and wax it again. But that's a job, maybe when it's warmer in summer, because I have to pull everything apart and drag it outside, and it's a big job. It's a big job by the gods. But anyway, I've got my little birdie boys outside, and the kookaburras have been. I made a beautiful chicken soup from a cooked chicken I bought yesterday, so I've had that for lunch, and I gave the skin and little tidbits of chicken meat to the cookies, who I must say were very happy and grateful. They sat on top of the bough of the tree and looked at me like this. I love you, Mama T. Damn straight you love me. It's cupboard love, but no, that's cynical. They do love me a bit more than just cupboard love, but they really like it when I give them treats. You know, who doesn't? We all like treats, don't we, people of Earth? By the gods. So the turkey's been hanging around, and then she got tired, and she or he lay down and actually near the fairy corner in the back garden near Beauregard's grave, which is next to the fairy corner. So they're all resting and happy, and I've given Kermie and Bo big bowls of water to bathe in, swim in. Won't do it. Maybe in the warmer months they'll feel more like splish splashing. Charlie used to love a good splish splash. Right, let us continue with reading part 4 of the Mythic Journey. And this part, how many parts are in this book actually? 5. Right, well this, is it 5 or 6? Well anyway, I could find that out by looking at the contents, couldn't I? Let's use your brains, Tanya Aarons. You used to be an intelligent woman, Tanya Aarons. I've just got so used to going with the flow that it's a bit astonishing actually. Yes, there's definitely 5 parts, 3 chapters per part. And it varies whether there's 3 or generally there's 3 stories per each chapter, but part 4 chapter 2 has 4 stories, but some of them might be quite short. Yes, well anyway, we won't worry about the minutiae and the details and the semantics. We'll settle down and get on with reading you the story, people of Earth. I feel a bit naked. I haven't got earrings on today and no jewellery, and I feel not quite fully dressed actually. Not quite happening in a far out way. So used to always having my jewellery. The scrub turkey's here and he wants to harass my boys. I'll just keep an eye out. He can't really do much, but I'll just observe from my little perch up here. Right, If you see me freak out and jump up and run out, it's because Turkey's decided to attack them, but I don't think he will. He doesn't usually, just stirs them up a bit. They're inside their cages anyway. Right, position and power. The challenge of finding one's way in the world is exciting to some and daunting to others. Success and failure occupy us all on one level or another, and self-sufficiency is a quality not always easy to develop while retaining compassion for one's fellow humans. By the gods, that's true. You know, dealing with freaking idiots is wearing on the nerves, just saying. Fortunately, I don't have to deal with them very often because I'm not in the working world with everyone else. By the gods. Can be grateful for that too. Right. Money, position and power are not merely things to be had out there in the world. However, they are also profoundly symbolic, reflecting our deepest values. Myth has many stories about ambition and greed, power and failure, which Mama T excels so very well at. That's not fair to say because I finished that cuff. It took me 2 months and lots of stubbornness and intrepidness and determination, but I finished that cuff. So I'm not a failure, just a bit slow on the uptake sometimes. I'm late to the party of consciousness, learning how to do things at 60 years of age. Although, to be fair, I started the silversmithing journey with flatware and when I was 55, 5 years ago. When the COVID epoch came, I said, right, we'll be getting busy and ignoring all that bullshit. By the gods, did I get busy and ignore the bullshit. Right, where was I? Worked myself half to death. To what end, people of Earth? I don't know. Sitting here reading stories. Sweet, isn't it? Like a little old lady. Ah, well. Right, let's start that sentence again. Myth has many stories about ambition and greed, power and failure, and responsibility and irresponsibility towards others. It reveals our most fundamental attitudes towards money and the ways it often symbolises or replaces self-worth and the craving for love. Money, wow, doesn't keep you warm at night, people of Earth. Pays for an electric blanket though, or at the very least a hot water bottle. It's not too bad, I guess. But you know, diamonds are forever, but don't keep you warm at night. Unless they attract the types of people that want to rob you of all your diamonds, and where's the comfort and joy in that, people of Earth? Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. Anyway, not that I had lots of diamonds, don't get me wrong. Only had my lovely engagement ring that Courtney, the last serious boyfriend, was so jealous of. Argued with me as to whether they were real diamonds or not. They weren't even that big. They were just little things. Like, for the love of all the gods, who's envious of your girlfriend's diamond ring? A motherfucker. Anyway, he went, it's still there to this day. He went and took my engagement ring and scratched my mirror with it. There's a little scratch still on the mirror. Every time I look at it, I want to punch him in the face. Anyway, and he comes back and he says, "You're right. Those diamonds are real." "Yeah," I said. "Why would I lie about something like that, you idiot?" Anyway, I got rid of that diamond ring in the end. didn't spark joy. It was a reminder of my ex-husband and all these envious, spiteful, ignominious, cheap men. I mean, look, no, Courtney wasn't cheap. He used to fix my little car constantly and my lawnmowers. He wasn't cheap, but he would never have bought me a diamond ring. He was so threatened and jealous of it. Anyway, weg damit, as they say in German. I got rid of it. I don't like it, how it's cramping my mojo. What year was that I got rid of that diamond ring? 2016. Interestingly, life's got better since then. Took a while, took a long while, but life has indeed improved. Is that you making that wonderful singing bow? Or have we got the little butcher bird here? Sounds more like the butcher bird song. Who's singing out there? Sing for your supper. Go on. I keep teaching them the dreidel song. I don't even know why. Hanukkah's not coming till, I don't know when it falls this year. Somewhere between late November and December. Oh well. Be funny if they ever start whistling the dreidel song. Anyone that's Jewish will be like, my God, those birds are Jewish. You see? But I'm also teaching them Irish. But I don't think they're ever going to mimic it. But Rati was so cute. She came out and was fiddling with the wax that I was making for my bench, and she came outside and she was all excited and happy, and she said, I was mopping the floors in the birds' room and I went to little Bo, and little Bo went right back at me. I went, what? And she says, then I whistled to him and he whistled back to me. And I said, damn it, those birds love you more than me. And she said, what do you mean? I went, well, little Bo spends the whole time lunging at me and trying to attack me, and he never mimics me. I said, Kermie's mimicked my laugh last week. He did a very good interpretation of my laugh, I said, which was delightful and kind of hilarious. But I said, little Bo's not too keen on me at all. She says, and then I was a bit upset. Not jealous, but I was just a little bit upset. I said, I'm the idiot that bought them lovely cages, and then what do? They fall in love with you, Rati. I said, it's because you're such a sweet soul, which she is indeed. Anyway, she went into the laundry and was sorting something out, and she thought about it, she came and she said, no, it's because I'm only here once a week and it's a novelty, and they're just showing off because, you know, like all children, they treat their parents badly, but when there's someone visiting or new to the house, they perform. I went, yeah, that'll be it. You're right. That'll be exactly what they're up to, the little feathery little blighters. Anyway, it was so sweet of her because I felt less rejected then, thinking that my birds don't like me as much as they like her. But I'm not jealous. I'm really not. I thought it was gorgeous. I said, it's gorgeous. I said, you get them to whistle and interact with you because they won't do it for me. No. They're all freaking out because the crows have come. But I threw some chicken skin in. But so the cookies took most of it, but the crows will be out there enjoying what's left. See, abundance and success and sharing the prosperity. It's a new word. Sharing the prosperity with the wild birds. We all live in harmony here at Sacred Space. We really do. It's a happy, happy day in the garden today. It's just a beautiful day. It's a gift from the gods. Right, we'll carry on. Craving for love. instead, and self-worth with acquiring lots of money. Mythic stories can also tell us about the discovery of one's right place in the world and what is meant by vocation, indeed. They can give us profound insights into the way we interact in society. But myth can sometimes surprise us as it gently reveals our strengths and weaknesses, our truth and our hypocrisies. I need to wash my fucking hair, it's sitting all weird. Oh, well, never mind. Our mistaken value systems, our lack of understanding of our worldly motives, and our often ambivalent attitudes towards those we feel to be better or worse placed than ourselves. Right, here we have below, the detail is the Judgment of Solomon by Sebastiano del Piombo, circa 1485 to 1547. It's a very long time ago, isn't it? Achieving power may be far easier than exercising it wisely and humanely, as the biblical story of the Judgment of Solomon portrays. It's when there was a fight over a baby and the false mother was quite happy when Solomon said, well, since I don't know which of you is the real mother, then I'll cut the baby in half. And the false mother was quite happy to go along with that, which is how he discovered who the real mother was. Anyway, there we go. Shlomo, Solomon the Wise. Well, I don't know where the baby is, but it was the two women arguing the case for the baby's continued safety and being with its rightful mother. Chapter 1, Finding a Vocation. The word vocation comes from a Latin root which means to call, and it reflects the sense of an inner calling or meaningful task which must be accomplished in the world. Although vocation does not necessarily involve a recognised profession or the accruing of money, it needs to involve the heart in order for us to feel we have really found our place in life. It also needs to be manifested outwardly for us to feel we have achieved what we were put on earth for. For some, vocation might involve climbing to the top of one's profession. For others, it might involve the quiet but equally committed act of raising a child or making one's garden beautiful. That's Kermie. Well done, Kermie. You're just going to add a few more bars and we'll have... He says, fuck off, Mama T. I'm not a goo-goo doll. I'm an Indian ringneck. How dare you try and teach me human melodies? He's got a point there, hasn't he? But sometimes you can get birds to mimic little tunes and it's cute and adorable. It's cute and adorable, Kermie. He says, no, Mama, you haven't got the right pitch and tone. I know. Poor Mama T. You gotta laugh. We all need some sense of vocation, whether it is expressed through a job or pursued quietly outside ordinary working life. Yet we are often bewildered about how to find our vocation, and if we do, how to make it concrete. Vocation may arise from inner inspiration, or it may evolve from external necessity, which drives us onto a path which we discover only later is absolutely the right one. Myth offers us examples of both, as well as what to do and what not to do as we make our way in the world. Indeed. Indeed, people of Earth. Lugh, spelt L-U-G-H, so I'm not sure if I've pronounced it correctly, but I think it's pronounced like Lugh. So all the Gaelic speakers probably, smacking me metaphorically up the side of the head right now, but I can't help it, people of Earth. Never give up trying. Indeed. Eventually you get there. Might not be where you want to be, but at least you know you didn't give up. Persevering in a quest, people of Earth, is very, very important. Very important indeed. The Celtic tale of Lugh's entry into the halls of the Tuatha De Danann is a delightful lesson in the importance of perseverance if we are to find our right place in the world. Vocation may be a calling from within, but it requires adaptability to the outer world as well as inner commitment. Lugh is a mercurial figure, part divinity and part trickster. And in the story, his chameleon-like versatility reflects a most important quality for those intent on finding their path in life. One day a great assembly was held at Tara. My daughter's been there. I insisted she go. I said, this is your second trip to Ireland and you have to see the sacred sites, otherwise you've wasted your entire reason for being in the UK, Ireland and the UK. So she took herself off and she did go to the hill of Tara. And I was very, very gratified that she got to see all of that. Poor Mama T never gets to see anything, but wow, at least my daughter had that opportunity. And it's an extra blessing on her head, by the way, whether she realises it or not. It's the reason why I sent her to all those sacred sites, not just living my dreams, but to stand on those holy sacred spaces with your feet on the ground, feeling the energy is potent magic, people of Earth. Potent magic. Let's start again. One day a great assembly was held at Tara where the Tuatha De Danann, the people of the goddess Danu, were wont to meet. King Nuada was celebrating his return to the throne by a feast. While the feast was at its height, a stranger, clothed like a king, came to the palace gate. The porter asked him his name and errand. "I am Lu," the stranger replied. "I am the grandson of Diansecht by Cian or Cian, Cian, my father, and the grandson of Baelor by Ethniel, my mother." Yes, yes, said the porter impatiently, "but I did not ask your genealogy. What is your profession? For no one is admitted here unless he is a master of some craft." Well, I'd be fucked then, wouldn't I, since I'm not exactly a master? I have gained some mastery, like most of the time I can solder now. I guess they'd let me in on a technicality that I've gained some mastery. "I am a carpenter," said Lu. "We have no need of a carpenter. We already have a very good one. His name is Luch Ternay," said the porter. "I am an excellent smith," said Lu. "We do not want a smith. We have a very good one. His name is Goibniu," said the porter. "I am a professional warrior," said Lu. "We have no need of one. Ogma is our champion," said the porter. "I am a harpist," said Lu. "We have an excellent harpist already," said the porter. "I am a warrior renowned for skillfulness rather than for mere strength," said Lu. Oh, listen. That's a bow. I love it when they sing. Sing it, little bow. Doesn't normally sing when he's outside. Feels too intimidated by everything. I'll take that as a sign that they're settling in and calming down, accepting that they're the bird kings of sacred space. Speaking of kings, haven't seen our king parrot for a while. Even Jared said, how symbolic that the king parrot came for 3 weeks after Charlie's death and brought his entire family and flock with him and paid homage. I said yes. It was very, very beautiful and an honour, not just from the king parrot, you understand, but from the fairy realm as well, who I'm sure sent them to me. I know that sounds a bit bonkers, but Titania's realm is Queen Titania's realm, and it was just such a consistent visitation every day for weeks that I thought that's unusual, most unusual, especially since when they go away and they stay away, it can be 2 years till I see my king parrots again. But yeah, I haven't seen them for a while now. Oh well, I've got my own little kings sitting here, my little birdie num num kings. They're both singing to each other. That sounded a bit like Iris, didn't it? Ah, special mention, Farley Ozzy Osbourne, the Prince of Darkness, but the Prince of Heavy Metal Rock. May he have a peaceful transition into the next dimension. Blessed be. I always loved his singing and music and his attitude to life. Oh, the lorikeets are here. The lorikeets are here. The lorikeets are here, boys. Right, let us continue. I'm so in love with my birds, can you tell? Yes. Poor Mama T. Oh well. Well, not really poor Mama T. Abundantly rich and blessed Mama T. Gifted by the gods. I haven't got food out for the lorikeets. And, I don't know. Yeah. I'm going to have to, because I'll feel guilty if they're sitting there and there's no food. One moment, I'll be back. I'll be back. Oh, old bones, old bones. Come on, my little snookies. Come on, my little angel faces. Mama's got something nice for you. Bloody turkey's seen it too. Oh, wow. There we go. Yes, I didn't put food out for them yesterday. They didn't come yesterday. So they had a day without any food and I thought, well, I'll give them a treat today. Just got to check, where's that turkey? Oh, that turkey's a rascal. He's dynamite, that turkey, he really is. Anyway, he's a happy lad. Where was I? Right. Lou said, I'm a warrior renowned for skillfulness rather than for mere strength, said Lou. We already have a man like that, said the porter. I'm a poet and tale teller, said Lou. We have no need of such, said the porter. We have a most accomplished poet and tale teller. I am a sorcerer, said Lou. We do not want one. We have numberless sorcerers and druids, said the porter. I am a physician, said Lou. By the gods, is there anything he can't do? It's impressive, isn't it? Diancecht is our physician, said the porter. I am a cup bearer, said Lou. You want to see it? Just flew in. Hello. Hello, little snooks. Yes. It's all happening at Sacred Space, isn't it? It's all happening. It's a busy, busy birdie day. Every day's a busy birdie day for the wild ones. Oh, there's two of you. Are you the little sweethearts that used to stir the crap up out of Charlie? Who did they used to tease her, torment her with their rainbow lorikeet polyamorous sexuality. Mama T did not approve. She thought it was funny, but she didn't actually approve all that much. Charlie wasn't interested either. Charlie, do you remember Charlie? Yes, she's in Valhalla now. Right. I am a cupbearer, said Lou. We already have 9 of them, said the porter. Hang on, we're all squidgy now. I don't know what happened. Sit us up. Still filming? Yes. Right. I am a worker in bronze, said Lou. We have no need of you. We already have a worker in bronze. His name is Crednay, said the porter. Then ask the king, said Lou. It's so cute, like, they're just so close to me. Love you. Then ask the king, said Lou, if he has with him a man who is master of all these crafts at once, for if he has, then there is no need for me to come to Tara. So the porter went inside and told the king that a man had come who called himself Lou Eodanach, which means the master of all arts, and that he claimed to know everything. Useful man. The king sent out his best chess player to play against the stranger. Lou won, inventing a new move called Lou's enclosure. That sounds like cheating to me, to be frank, but wow. Sometimes you just got to bust out a new move, don't you, darlings? Then the king invited him in. Lou entered and sat down upon the chair called the sage's seat, kept for the wisest man. Just going to check my lorikeets are still there. Hello, you little snookies. You gonna talk to me? Oh, they're having a good feed. They're really happy. The champion, Ogmar, was showing off his strength by pushing a flagstone so large that 80 yokes of oxen would have been needed to move it. Now we've got 2 turkeys. Honestly. The stone, huge as it was only a portion broken from a still greater rock. Lou picked it up in his hands and put it back in its place. Then the king asked him to play the harp. Lou played the sleep tune, and the king and all his court fell asleep and did not wake until the same hour the following day. Next, Lou played a plaintive air, and they all wept. And then he played a measure which sent them into transports of joy. When the king saw all these numerous talents, he realized that one so gifted could be of great help to his people against their enemies. So he took counsel with the others and lent the throne to Lou for 13 days. And Lou became the war leader for the Tuatha De Danann. And I referred to him before as a man, but actually the Tuatha De Danann were kind of gods or fairy folks. Commentary. master of all arts. Someone just put their hand on my shoulder. Sweet, isn't it? Master of all arts may be too vast a collection of talents for any human to aspire to, and usually such total mastery is not required when we apply for a job. But the story of Lu tells us that we may need to acquire a variety of skills if we are to find a place in our constantly changing world. This ancient Celtic tale is strangely practical and up to date because it presents us with the importance of acquiring knowledge of many related subjects, even if we aspire to work at only one. The idea of specialising and becoming good at just one thing may have been appropriate decades ago. The job market then was different, and the computer age had not begun. Now the world is changing with incredible rapidity. Bear in mind this book was written published in 1999. So we can say a lot more about how things are changing with AI now. And we may need the mercurial all-roundedness of Lu if we are to beat the competition and make our way towards our worldly goals. Lu is also persistent, and this quality is vital if we are to make our aspirations real. He does not go away in a hurt sulk when first rejected, nor does he get angry or arrogant. He simply counters each refusal with another offer. He knows that he must convince the king, being the king of the fairies, not that he is the best harpist or warrior or carpenter, but that he is capable of doing any of these jobs and is therefore worth several other people in terms of the resources he has to offer. His confidence lies in his knowledge of himself and his training in many different arts. In short, he can convince everyone of his worth, including the king, because he believes in himself, and this belief is based not on some self-aggrandizing vision, but on solid practical experience. In this most pragmatic of myths, oh, it's you making that noise, little lorikeet. I wondered if it was Kermie doing it. In this most pragmatic of myths, we are presented with a vivid description of what we need to arm ourselves in the world outside and how we need to present ourselves to those from whom we seek favour. One can almost hear the king weighing up the cost effectiveness of hiring one man who was capable of doing the jobs of 6. Lu is a thoroughly modern deity, well aware of market forces. There are many deeper and more profound issues concerning the pursuit of a vocation, which we will explore through other myths. But the story of Lu can teach us that our journey must begin with our feet firmly on the ground. A myth of two brothers, a lesson in how to prosper. This tale from East Africa has much to teach us about the invisible laws which must be honoured if we are to find what we are seeking in the world. One brother gets it wrong, while the other gets it right, not because he is cleverer or stronger, but because he responds to the needs of those he meets along the way. Just see what my birdies are doing. There was a man who had 2 sons. The elder was called Mkunare, and the younger Kanyanga. Kanyanga or Kanyanga? Kanyanga. They were so poor that they did not own a single cow. Eventually, Mkunare proposed that he should go up to Kibo, one of the 2 peaks of Mount Kilimanjaro, because he had heard it said that a king ruled up there who was generous to the poor. My kind of king. Thus he hoped to fulfill what he felt to be his vocation, which was the salvation of his family and his people. Mkunare took a supply of food, all that could be spared, and set off up the mountain. After a while, he met an old woman who was sitting beside the path. Her eyes were so sore that she could not see. Mkunare greeted her. "Why have you come to this place?" said the old woman in reply. "I am looking for the king who lives at the top of the mountain," said Mkunare. "Lick my eyes clean," said the old woman, "and I will tell you how to get there." But Mkunare was too revolted by her sore eyes to lick them. I kind of understand that, to be honest. And he went on his way. Further up, he arrived at the country of the Konyingo, the little people or wee folk, and saw a group of men sitting in their king's cattle compound. These men were very small, the size of young boys, and Mkunare mistakenly assumed that they were children. "Hello," he called. "Where will I find your fathers and big brothers?" The Konyingo replied, "Just wait here until they arrive." I'm being listened to. I'm getting paranoid. No, it's the turkey is in my fire pit, throwing everything out. That's the banging I can hear. Sometimes my neighbours do listen in to me though, which is sweet, but kind of odd at the same time. But they're not even home, so I can calm my farm. Right. Mkunare waited until evening, but no one came. Before nightfall, the Konyingo herded their cattle into the compound and slaughtered an animal for the evening meal, but they did not give Mkunare any of the meat. They said that he must wait until their fathers and big brothers arrived. Almost sounds like Aussie larrikin type sense of humour and justice too. Tired, hungry and disappointed, Mkunare set off again down the mountain and again past the old woman sitting beside the path, but even though he tried to persuade her, she would tell him nothing about what had happened to him. On his way back, he lost his way in uninhabited country and did not get home for a month. Thus he failed in his quest and told his kinsmen that there were people at the top of Kibo with large herds of cattle, but being mean, they gave nothing to strangers. Then Kanyanga, the younger brother, decided to go up the mountain. In a second attempt, to ease his family's poverty, after a while, he too met the old woman sitting beside a path. He greeted her, and when she asked why he had come up there, he told her he was looking for the king who lived on top of the mountain. "Lick my eyes clean," said the old woman to Kanyanga, "and I will tell you how to get there." Kanyanga took pity on her and licked her eyes thoroughly. "Keep climbing," the old woman told Kanyanga, "and you will come to the settlement of the king. The men you will see there are no bigger than boys. But don't jump to the conclusion that they are children. Address them as members of the king's council and greet them respectfully." Further up, Kanyanga arrived at the cattle compound of the Konyingo king and greeted the little men there respectfully. They took him to the king, who listened to his plea for help and ordered that he be given a meal and a place to sleep that night. As a return for their hospitality, Kanyanga taught the Konyingo the incantations and medicines which protect the growing crops against insects and other pests, and also those which invisibly bar the paths against invading enemies. The little people were so pleased with these new methods that they... Yes, I saw that bow. That they each gave Kanyanga an animal out of their herds, and he set off down the mountain, driving his cattle in front of him and singing the herding song. And so Kanyanga prospered, as did his kinsmen. But people composed a song about his elder brother, Mkunari, which is still sung. "Oh, Mkunari, wait till the fathers come. What right have you to despise the little folk?" Speaking of little folks, the lorikeets are still here eating. Are you a happy birdie? You're a very happy birdie. Oh, yes, you are. Mkunari, like many people, knows what he wants. He wishes to prosper and help his family and kinsmen. And to do so, he needs the favour of someone who is in a position to help him. Also, like many people, he is so preoccupied with achieving his goal that he fails to notice what is really going on around him and does not respond with compassion to someone less fortunate than himself whom he meets along the way. Because he is repelled by the old woman and does not look carefully at the little Konyingo to discover whether they are really boys or men, he receives no help and must return home with empty hands. Do you like the Mama T reading these stories? Thus, we too may be focused on what we want as we set out in life, that we lose our capacity to remain aware of what confronts us in the immediate present. In failing to live here and now, we may risk the loss of the goals we so long to achieve. Indeed. The old woman who Mkonari meets is one of life's unfortunates, but she also possesses some very important information, without which Mkonari cannot hope to get what he seeks. He might interpret her as an image of those less well off than ourselves, who, through bitter experience, have acquired wisdom we need. Or he may see her as a symbol of the painful and unfair side of life, which must be faced if we are to understand the world we live in. However we interpret her, the message is clear. Refusal to respond to her request results in a fatal ignorance of the real facts, and thus in failure. Ouch. Yes, they are indeed gone. I did hear them fly, but I just wanted to double check. Well, they had a good feed and they're happy birdies now. Figures such as this old woman are common in myth. Sometimes they are portrayed as poor, sick, or elderly people seeking a favour. Sometimes as animals needing help. And when they appear, they invariably reward whomever responds to their plea with some vital knowledge or implement which ensures future success. Do I not always say you need to look after and protect the silent ones? Not that birdies are silent because they have their own songs, but since they can't speak to us in English, we need to guard and protect them and all the creatures of the earth. And it's delightful, but help each other human beings along the way too is perhaps even more delightful, because, you know, got to look after your own too. It is possible that we all meet such situations as we move through life. Yet so often we fail to recognise the importance of what we are facing and cannot show the necessary compassion. The gods do like to test us, people of earth. Mum has been tested multitudes of times. Sometimes I never know if I actually passed or failed, by the way. Mkonari's second mistake, arising inevitably from his first mistake, is that he addresses the little people with disrespect because he thinks they are children. Because they do not match up to Mkonari's image of what a king's counsellors should look like, he talks down to them. In much the same way, we too may find ourselves judging others solely by their appearance and treating them with disrespect, never realising that they may in fact hold the key to the goals we are so avidly pursuing. And even if these little people were children, children too merit respect as individuals, indeed. If they are wise enough to know how to herd cattle, they are worthy enough for Mkunari to speak to them with civility. Instead, he dismisses them, and they make him pay for his lack of courtesy. In return, Mkunari learns nothing from all this, but afterwards tells everyone that the Konyingo are too mean to share anything with him. Such a negative and cynical view of other people is often the result not of others' meanness, but of our own stupidity, indeed. Kanyanga, unlike his older brother, is not blinded by either callousness or superficiality. He pities the old woman and gives her what she needs. If he is revolted, nevertheless, his compassion proves stronger. Licking the sore eyes of a nearly blind old woman is a striking image which suggests giving unstinting comfort to someone else's pain and disillusionment. Thus Kanyanga is warned about the little people and does not mistake them for children. But he goes further than merely following good advice. He responds to the generosity of the Konyingo with generosity of his own, teaching them everything he knows. This act is not calculated to gain a reward. It is given from the heart. Thus he succeeds in bringing home wealth in the form of cattle. The message here is clear. Before we continue with the next story, I'll show you this lovely painting by Thomas Cole, 1801 to 1848. He was only 47 when he died. Mountain Sunrise. When he heard that a generous king lived there, Mkunari decided to seek prosperity and good fortune at the peak of Mount Kibo. But his ambition obscured his respect for those he met along the way. Mountain Sunrise. Isn't it beautiful? It's almost like being there, isn't it? Just lovely. Just lovely, people of Earth. The next story is titled Phaeton and the Sun Chariot. Going too far, too fast. The sad Greek myth of Phaeton reveals many of the aspirations and difficulties of the young person seeking to find his or her place in the world, and it issues a stark warning against trying to go too far, too fast. Perhaps more importantly, it also teaches us that attempting to copy an admired parent is not always a wise way to discover one's vocation. Indeed. Born by shining pillars, the palace of Apollo, the sun god, rose glittering and brilliant in the heavens. To this beautiful place came Phaeton, Apollo's son by a mortal woman. Phaeton saw his divine father seated on a vast golden throne, surrounded by his retinue, the days, the months, the years, the centuries, the seasons, and moving gracefully to and fro, the muses making sweet music. Apollo noticed with surprise the beautiful youth who stood gazing at the glory around him in silent amazement. Just going to turn this way. Too much sun in the eyeballs, people are there. I'm melting, I'm fucking melting. Not. It's just a in-joke. If you've seen The Wizard of Oz or Wicked, you'll know what the reference is. Why have you come here, my son? Apollo asked. On earth men are making mock of me and slandering my mother, Clymene, replied Phaeton. They say that I only pretend to be of heavenly origin and that, in reality, I am only the son of an ordinary, unknown man. So I have come to beg of you some token which will prove to the world that my father is indeed Apollo, the sun god. Did he have a bath? He's standing on the edge of his bath. No, he's just standing there. Oh, weird little birds, honestly. Apollo rose and embraced his son tenderly. I shall never disown you in the face of the world, he told the young man. But if you need more than my word, I swear by the river Styx that your wish shall be granted, no matter what it may be. Then make my wildest dream come true, said Phaeton, for one day let me guide the winged chariot of the sun. Fear and sorrow shadowed the god's shining face. You have beguiled me into speaking rash words, he said sadly. For if only I could retract my promise. For you have asked something of me which is beyond your strength. You are young. You are mortal. But what you crave is granted only to the gods, and not to all of them. For only I am permitted to do what you are so eager to try. My chariot must travel a steep path. It is a difficult climb for the horses, even when they are fresh at dawn. The middle of the course lies at the zenith of the sky. I myself am often shaken with dread when, at such a height, I stand upright in my chariot. My head spins when I look down on the earth so far beneath me. And the last stretch of the way descends sharply and requires a sure hand on the reins. Even if I gave you my chariot, how could you control it? Do not insist that I keep my word to you. Mend your wish while there is still time. Choose anything else that earth and heaven have to offer, but do not ask this dangerous thing. But Phaeton pleaded and pleaded, and Apollo had, after all, given his sacred oath. So he took his son by the hand and led him to the sun chariot. The pole, axle, and the rims of the wheels were all of gold. The spokes were silver, and the yoke glittered with precious stones. While Phaeton stood marvelling, dawn wakened in the east. Apollo ordered the hours to yoke the horses, and he salved the face of his son with a magic ointment to enable him to withstand the heat of the flames. My son, spare the goad and use the reins, for the horses will run of themselves, he said. Your labour will lie in slowing their flight. Keep away from both the south and north poles. Do not drive too slow, lest the earth catch fire, nor too high, lest you burn up in the sky, as happened with Icarus and Pegasus, you understand. The young man scarcely heard his father's advice. He leapt into the chariot, and the horses bounded up the course, breaking through the mists of morning. But soon they felt their burden was lighter than usual, and the chariot reeled and floundered through the air and swerved aimlessly, while the horses wheeled from the beaten paths of the sky and jostled each other in savage haste. Phaeton became frightened. He did not know which way to pull the reins, nor where he was, nor could he curb the animals. When he looked down at the earth, his knees shook with terror. He wanted to call the horses, but he did not know their names. Chill with despair, he dropped the reins, and instantly the horses leapt sideways into unfamiliar regions of air. They grazed against drifts of cloud which kindled and began to smoulder. They rushed towards the fixed stars, and the earth grew chill and cold, and the rivers turned to ice. Are we discussing the Ice Age here? I wonder. Then the horses plunged downwards towards the earth. The sap was dried out of plants, and the leaves of the forest trees shriveled and burst into flame. The world was afire, and Phaeton began to suffer from the intolerable heat. He was tortured with fumes and blasts of ashes cast up by the burning earth. Smoke as black as pitch surged around him. And then his hair caught fire. He fell from the chariot and whirled through space like a shooting star until, far below, the arms of the ocean swallowed him up at last. His father Apollo, who had feared and then witnessed this sight of destruction, veiled his radiant head and brooded in sorrow. It is said that this day brought no light to the world. Only the great conflagration shone far and wide. Right, I'll show you the painting of the Fall of Phaeton by Gustave Moreau, who lived from 1826 to 1898, which makes him 72, which is, a goodly life, good and long enough life. Of course, we always wish for longer, don't we? But it's not a bad innings, I suppose. The sun chariot which Phaeton drove hurtled out of control, for he had ignored his father's advice, and the horses would not obey such a youthful and inexperienced driver. It's an amazing painting. Absolutely amazing. Commentary. Phaeton, like many an energetic and unreflective youth, wants to be somebody important in the world. He is hurt by others' mockery. They claim he is the son of nobody, not the child of the radiant sun god. How often do we hear young people boasting about who their parents are, hoping to borrow some of their elders' success and position before they have earned it themselves. And equally often we may hear the children of those who have achieved little in terms of material success, ashamed of their humble origins, boasting of an imaginary lineage in order to claim the admiration of those around them. It's getting cold in here, by the gods, to bring the birdie boys inside. Phaeton is neither malicious nor a fool, but he is not mature enough to take his time and work towards the day when success and recognition can be the fruits of his own efforts, and abilities. He is seeking his place in the world, searching for a true vocation or calling, but he is impatient to reap the rewards before he understands his abilities and limits. Apollo, who in the story is a loving and concerned father, wants to do all he can to help the young man find his feet. So he rashly promises anything the youth might desire, perhaps partly to compensate for neglect. This is the mythic equivalent of letting one's son borrow the Porsche before he has got his driving license, or allowing him to become a partner in the family business before he has demonstrated any knowledge or skill. Many fathers feel deeply guilty because they spend so much time away from their families, and when faced with their children's hurt, they try to make things right again by offering material rewards beyond the child's capabilities. When Phaeton asks for the sun chariot, Apollo, the god of foresight and prophecy, can see well enough the tragic outcome. He warns Phaeton that he is not strong enough for the task, nor is the task one to which any mortal is entitled. By the gods, literally. yet he cannot renege on his sacred oath. He must pay dearly for his mistake, made partly from love and partly from an effort to assuage guilt. Phaeton, like so many figures in Greek myth, is afflicted with hubris. He wants to be godlike and will not accept his mortal limits. So too may we aspire in the world, wanting to be great and famous, wanting to be wealthy and powerful, oblivious of our human limits, and stubbornly refusing to reflect coolly and realistically on just what we are good at and what we may be unfit to do. The challenge of finding a vocation tests us on many levels. Whether we face this challenge in youth or in midlife, when we may seek to change paths and move in a more fulfilling direction. One of the greatest of these tests is the fraught issue of recognizing where our talents lie and finding the humility to see when we will simply not make the grade. Some people do not aspire high enough and fail to develop real abilities, sometimes because of insecurity or restrictive circumstances beyond their control. Some aim too low because of laziness. Others, like Phaeton, want to emulate someone else because they wish to shine and be seen as special. Yet they may not possess the particular combination of qualities necessary to achieve the goal. And if they fail to understand this, they may subject themselves to a great deal of sorrow and humiliation. We are seduced by the apparently glamorous lives of the famous and terrified by the prospect of living pointless, banal lives without offering anything which will be remembered by future generations. Much of the impulse to carve a special place in the world springs from a deep, albeit unconscious, awareness that life is short, and we must take what opportunities come our way. He's pressed up against the side of his cage and he's calling out to me. They're getting cold, so we're finishing up now. I'm going to bring my boys in. And we must take what opportunities come our way, for they may not come again. Phaeton's impossible dream is perfectly understandable given the increasing sense of meaninglessness and boredom which besets so many in the modern world. Yet, even with the threat of insignificance facing us all, we need to find the courage and humility to recognize that overweening ambition without training, skill, or a sense of real vocation based on real talents can be a dangerous path. Whether Phaeton's ruin is taken as an image of financial disaster, generated by grandiose dreams, or as an image of professional humiliation generated by aiming beyond the reach of one's talents. This myth tells us, in no uncertain terms, that the sun chariot is beyond our reach. In the arena of the world, we may aspire, rightly and with hope, to become nothing more or less than our human selves. And thus concludes chapter 1 of part 4. We'll continue tomorrow with chapter 2 of part 4. Right, beautiful people of planet Earth and all other sentient beings and all other interdimensional ones. Have a beautiful afternoon and evening wherever you find yourself. Some of you are in the morning, no doubt, depending where you are on Earth. And I'm going to bring my birdie boys in, and I think I'm going to go and make some chocolate brownies. Mama's got a craving. Suicide by carbicide's a thing, people of Earth. But I've been, as I told my psych at my debrief yesterday, I've been eating a lot of chocolate the last few months. It's not good for me. It's an addiction, and it's also, too much sugar and fat and not good for the figure. But, fuck it. It's a phase I'm going through. Sometimes I went through a phase about 2 months ago where I didn't eat chocolate for about a month, which was out of character and unusual. So, now we're, the sword of Damocles is swinging back into some kind of 0 point field. And brownies. Mama's going to make some brownies. Naughty though it is. So bye for now. Sei gesund, that's Yiddish for be well. And I'll talk to you tomorrow.